What's up, Knicks fans? The playoffs are finally here, and every game matters. So before you fire off your bets, listen up. When you bet with FANATICS Sportsbook, you earn FANCASH, up to 10% back on all your bets, win or lose. And unlike points that expire, FANCASH is the true currency of sport. You can spend it on official gear for every team in every league, as well as collectibles and exclusive experiences, all on Fanatics.com. You're getting access to the world of sports every time you bet with FANATICS Sportsbook. And by the way, before every game, you could find our Knicks Film School squad bet right inside the FANATICS Sportsbook app. So if you're betting the game, bet right along with us. Get in on the action and start earning FANCASH today. FANATICS Sportsbook. Winning hits different here.
And just like that, we are so back. Welcome to the Knicks Film School Postgame Show presented by FANATICS Sportsbook, where we are here to talk about a win that is not properly indicated by the final score. I will read the final score of 114-98 in favor of the Knicks. This was... I think it's safe to say, Andrew Claudio said it a few minutes ago as we were closing out the postgame, and I'm inclined to agree with him. This was a pretty dominant performance. It was, for all intents and purposes, a wire-to-wire victory. Knicks won the first quarter by 7, the second quarter by 7, the third quarter by 7, and they were up at one point by, I think it was 24 points in the fourth quarter, and we got to see garbage time, which is all you really need to know in terms of they did not have to close this game with the starters, none of whom were in for the final 4 minutes. Was it the cleanest performance? No, it wasn't. And yes, we will talk about the game that Jalen Brunson had, which I hope that we could at least focus most, if not all, of our energy on how he ended the game. I thought he ended the game as well as we probably could have hoped for. See the ball go through the basket a couple of times. But if we are calling a spade, and we always try to do that here at Knicks Film School, even if it is calling out some of our heroes, some of our guys. They blew out the Hawks tonight, not because of Jalen Brunson, but despite him. And that is because we got some absolutely massive performances up and down the roster that we are going to spend a lot of time talking about, the likes of Deuce McBride. We are going to spend a lot of time talking about the likes of Josh Hart. I thought he was the best player in the first half of this game. I know the final stat line is not going to really be that impressive when you look at it. We're going to talk a lot about Josh Hart and the impact he had on this game when they really, really needed it. We are going to talk about the leading scorer for the Knicks in this game, and that would be one OG Anunoby, who is a guy that I think now in his third playoff run with the Knicks, we can pretty securely and safely say he is a dude that shows up when it matters most. But of course, we are going to spend a lot of time, the most time, deservedly so, talking about a guy who was the best player in this game. And I think we could now comfortably say at this point, he has been the best player in this series. And that is with all due respect to CJ McCollum, who the Knicks finally solved a little bit tonight. We're going to talk a lot about the Knicks defense. Again, final score doesn't really indicate it. The Hawks scored 33 points in the final quarter. They were not able to get really much of anything going. I know Hawks fans are going to spend a lot of time talking about their three-point percentage tonight, which the final percentage was actually, no, it wasn't even that much higher than it was for most of the game. I thought because they hit some late threes. It was 24%. That's fine. the Knicks defended their asses off tonight and showed up in a way. And again, a lot of the focus is going to be on Towns. But last thing I want to say before I bring up someone who I'm very excited to hear from, because I did not get to hear from him all night long because I did the watch along with Andrew Claudio. Last thing I will say is I said two things earlier today. I did a few different recordings. I did the playoff hangover with Jeff and Sean, did Patreon mailbag today, and then I did a little direct-to-camera thing for the Knicks Film School newsletter on Substack. And I said two things at various times over the course of when I talked about this game before it happened. Number one was I didn't want this to be a 1-point win or a 2-point win or some kind of nail-biter. I wanted the Knicks to come in and be angry about how they performed in game 3, and obviously still should have been over the game 2 loss. And I wanted them to take out that anger on the Hawks by playing and dominating the basketball game as they are capable of doing. And that was on the positive side, and I got that. And then the other thing that I said, and it was not, I don't know that I would say a fear that I had, but it did enter and creep into the back of my mind, where I did have to sit here because we have watched this team play basketball for 82 games, and we know for as many as ups as there have been some downs. And there was a part of me in the back of my head where I was like, if there is fracturing, right? If there are cracks in the cement, this is the sort of game. And those cracks are real and they have consequences. This is the sort of game where they come out. The fact that we got a performance that was the opposite of a fractured team, and I would argue that we got the most together team-centric performance from this basketball team that we have seen. Honestly, it's up there with any game that we've seen this season, because you want to know what a fractured team does? A fractured team, when their top guy, their point guard, their leader, their captain is going out there and struggling and not having his best game, they're going to roll eyes and not give the effort on either end of the court and everything. The opposite of that happened tonight. The opposite of that happened because every surrounding player, I mentioned Mikal Bridges' name yet. We'll talk about Mikal Bridges. Don't worry. But listen, Mikal Bridges, to his credit, he played well when he was in there. Maybe Mike Brown didn't think so, but we'll get to that. Everybody brought it around Jalen Brunson. And, I'll circle back to where I started. Was it Jalen's best game? No. Did he make it tougher for them at times, especially with the turnovers? Yes. I still have faith in Jalen Brunson, and he's going to be fine. And I think hopefully this game can course correct what happened over the last two. And all that's left to do is for the Knicks to go home, take care of business in game 5, and then you get 2 chances to close it out. But before we get to talking about any of that, I would like to welcome to the stage my guy, my frequent collaborator, someone I'm very lucky to talk to on a regular basis, Jeff Johnson. And I would just politely request, not that I would ever tell Jeff Johnson, but I would politely request Jeff to open his thoughts with the same question he opened when he popped into the watch along earlier, for anybody who may have not heard that question.
Oh, yeah.
It was a good one.
Was it really that hard? Was it really that hard to just play your game and play with intensity and handle these Hawks? Was it that hard to do it for 48 minutes over the course of the first 4 games? I just need, I want somebody to really explain that to me, because it's as if the collective team has been reading everything that has been said about them. Like everything, every critique, and nearly answered every critique. And if I would tell you the one person who didn't answer a lot of them critiques, you'd be shocked.
You told us before the game, right?
Look, if Jalen Brunson wakes up in this series, you're getting 2 more games like that.
Oh,
like
without question.
maybe even worse on the Hawks side than what you saw today. But yeah, John, I've said it. I said it online. I say it here. Once again, I'm pleased, but I'm not satisfied. Pleased, but not satisfied. And I told y'all, even going 50% emotional into this game was like a relief to me, because I wasn't living and dying by every shot. Sure, I was cheering here and there, but I was ready for these guys to put up an L stinker and trick this game away. Even when they were up 20, I said, okay, what are we going to do?
Jeff,
what are we going to do?
We couldn't be sure. Like, for anybody, and that's the thing, right? Is we're content creators. We are out there. We display our emotions about this team. We say lots of things about this team. And when you say lots of things about this team, you will get folks who, when they'll go and find the thing that you said after this game or that game, be like, well, how do you feel now, right? After they went and did that. No. It's the whole sample. It's not like you pick and choose what counts and what doesn't. So yeah, when we were sitting there up 20 with 8 and change to go, was I still sweating it out? Like, you better believe I was still sweating it out. You know, I was like, a couple more minutes to go, guys. Like, let's put this one away. And they did that, and they did it. And to answer your question, like, was it that hard? What about this looked difficult?
Exactly.
I feel like that's a valid question. What about picking apart the Hawks defense? And we could have the Towns conversation now.
Let's do it.
Because, I mean, shit, that was Jokic-esque out there, man. I mean, we listen. I don't have to tell anybody. When Towns has not brought it, I have given it to him. So the least I could do is that when he brings it in the opposite direction, like, yeah, that's the name that comes to mind. That was Jokic-esque.
Exactly. He was Nikola Sazon, right? Like that's like Nikola Jokic with a little Sazon, and you get Karl Anthony Towns, right? Listen, when I said was it that hard? Part of the reason why I was asking that question, was it really that hard? Was it really hard for this team to run their offense through the greatest advantage creator they have on both sides of the floor, both teams? The best advantage creator on the floor is Cat. Yes. Was it really that hard to say, yo, we're going to run the offense through Cat? And I've seen a lot of reductive conversations about this whole Towns involvement in the offense. This wasn't about chucking up shots and just putting up a whole bunch of field goal attempts. This was about touches.
10 shots.
Which this is still mind-boggling to me how efficient it is, where you look at he has 22 points on 10 shots. He only went how many free throws?
I'll give a stat line right now. 6 of 10 from the field, 1 of 2 from 3, 7 of 9 from the line, and obviously 10 points 10 rebounds, 10 assists for only the 4th triple-double in Knicks playoff history.
Was it really that hard? Like, this should be an everyday thing. And because I've said for a minute, Cat has the vision. His passes may not always be as sharp because he's like a quarterback who knows the offense like the back of his hand. And he says, you're supposed to be in this spot. I'm throwing the ball to the spot. Go to the spot, right? But even then, he has a vision. He has a flair for unique looking passes and stylized passes. And he collapses the defense on him so that they have to honor his shot. And they're on red alert for everybody else. And this is where I got to shout out the Knicks off-ball movement.
Well, you beat me to it, because if we're going to talk about Cat and we're going to talk about the impact that Cat had on this game and how his fingerprints were all over this game, you just brought up a quarterback. Quarterback can't throw himself the ball. He needs a wide receiver. And OG Anunoby, man, again, it's not that every playoff game that he's played with the Knicks has been great, but like, if you go down the line and you look at some of when like they needed someone to show up in a big way, like OG Anunoby kind of has ice water running through his veins. He kind of doesn't give a whole lot of fucks. It doesn't seem like the moment is ever really too big for him. He knew exactly what his team needed from him. And like, look, there's been a lot of conversations about Mikal Bridges over the last few days, and we'll have some tonight because he played even fewer minutes tonight than he did in game 3, interestingly enough. But like, part of the issue with Mikal is assertiveness and figuring out his role. OG, man, he toes the line really well, where on one hand, he ain't afraid to take the shots. He ain't afraid to mix it up. He ain't afraid to get involved in the offense in a big way. But at the same time, how many games have we really been like, man, it's just way too much OG right now? I don't really feel like we say that very much. And I certainly we weren't saying it tonight.
No, and part of the reason was because of Cat. 6 of Cat's 10 assists were to OG on spamming. We talked about spamming Cat pick and rolls with Brunson. They were spamming that off-ball, pin down screen, back cut. The Hawks just decided not to guard it. Why? Because they were collapsing on Brunson. They wanted to prevent the pop outs for the 3-point shot so bad that they were willing to give up those dunks, those easy dunks. And shout out to OG. He's always been a fantastic off-ball cutter. Getting to the spot every time. Cat waiting for the play to develop. Passing it to him every time. 6. And it could have been 7 if OG didn't get fouled on that one play.
Oh, right? That was one of my favorite passes he threw all night. It was in the 4th quarter.
Yeah. So that's one of the things that Cat made his life easier. 12 of his points came off of Cat passes, right? Then on top of that, 3 of 6 from 3-point range, steal, a block, monumental two-way performance from him that wasn't as loud in the moments. Like his dunks were loud, but even his defense. I saw some talking about how he was blowing up. OG. Like he was blowing up off ball screens. And this is the thing about OG, and I think this is one of the reasons why he got overlooked a lot of times for Defensive Player of the Year. Like Harden, when Harden once said, I'm not a system player, I am the system. On defense, OG is the system. And system defenses, like the Wemby system defense it screams at you because Wemby's 9 feet tall and deters people at the rim. He's super conspicuous. OG does all of the nerdy off-ball, you don't see it in the score sheet, schematic things that when you go back on film and watch a few times, you say, bro, this guy is a savant on defense. He knows everything. He knows every play, the opponent's plays, where to be, when to blow up, when to leave his man to go double, when to be off ball and ball hawk. Like he's doing all of this at the highest level on both ends. And John, I don't think you can. I know he didn't play a lot during that run because of the appendicitis, but you cannot discount the wisdom and the experience of championship players who have won chips and have been on championship level teams. There's something to be said about their experience and the wisdom that they built during those runs, even through osmosis. If he suited up, but he didn't really play in those finals. He was a part of those teams. He saw Kawhi in action, and he's bringing that to this team. Like we can put up OG's 2 or 3 year playoff roster, and quietly he has a great Knicks playoff career.
Well, the thing because I just couldn't get over game 3 until like the start of this game. The thing that I would find myself getting upset about today is those OG threes should have gone down right alongside the Cat shots to help them win game 4. It was game 4 against Detroit, right? Yeah,
right.
Game 4 against
Detroit.
Lost
to history.
It should have gone right alongside them because they were as great at shots as we've seen during this run. OG averaging over 20 points a game in the series. You mentioned OG's defense being subtle a little bit. Hawks are averaging 103.5 points per game in this series. OG is the one guy that Mike Brown has not taken off the court at all. He played 40 minutes tonight. Excuse me. Previous 3 games, 37, 38, 38. just having him out there is such a luxury because it like, yes, the Hawks are able to still attack and they figured out decent ways to attack stuff, but you're limiting like the range of outcomes because you have OG out there. And if we're going to be fair, so as well as Josh Hart. And I want to get to Josh Hart in a second. Last thing I want to say about OG and then Cat and then move to Josh Hart. OG defensive rebounds are part of defense. 10 rebounds tonight after 9, 8, and 8 in the first 3 games. He has been rebounding like a madman. And then just to going way back to the Cat efficiency point, 84 points for Karl-Anthony Towns in the series on 47 shots. That's efficiency.
And even with that, John, quietly, he's having one of the best defensive series that I've probably ever seen him play. So
if there's a team out there, look, maybe I would love to have this opportunity. Maybe OKC. There's no team out there who is going to beat the Knicks consistently on tough mid-range like floaters, because Cat, if you get all the way to the rim at Cat, like, yeah, did he give CJ some room on a couple of those drives where CJ, got the screen? Yeah. You're not winning a series like that, Okay, Josh, and then we could hit any other periphery stuff that you want to hit before I let you go enjoy a well-earned Saturday night. I'll read his stat line. 10 points on 4 of 10 shooting, only 1 of 5 from 3, although the 1 3 that he hit was a big time 3 at the end of the clock. 9 rebounds, 9 big ones. He, again, has needed to rebound in a big way because of where kind of Karl is playing more defensively in the series. 3 assists. Somehow only gets credited with 2 steals. Josh Hart did tonight. I'd like to go and check that out because he was responsible for, by my count, at least 5 Hawk turnovers in the first half. And again, I was like a little hesitant to start the post game by being like the Knicks dominated this basketball game because that was a tense game for like over 3 quarters. And it was most tense where they had gotten the lead in the first quarter. They came out, they did what they needed to do for the most part in the first quarter. And then you were worried there was some stretches where the Knicks offense was maybe falling a little short in the second quarter. And it seemed like every time they needed a big defensive play, Josh Hart was there.
Yeah, I don't understand how he only had 2. If this was like sacks in football, he would have accumulated a bunch of half sacks.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Great call.
What I loved about this game, John, this team played like it was game 7. This was their game 7. They played with that intensity. They played with a level of physicality. I haven't seen this. We haven't seen this level of physicality consistently from them, or even this is one of the most physical games I've seen them play. Aggressive. Like they were nasty in there. The Hawks felt them today. Like CJ McCollum's been super comfortable. And I don't care if he's 34 or 54. That dude is a professional bucket getter. And if you make it comfortable for him, he's going to kill you. It was very uncomfortable for him. It continues to be uncomfortable for Jalen Johnson. And Hart, whoever is being guarded by Hart now knows how it feels when Dyson Daniels guards you.
Yeah, that's a great call. That's a great call.
Now the turntables. You know what I'm saying? Now the turntables. Because even Josh, man, I gotta salute him. Defensively, he's probably he would get the hard hat for the series. He'd definitely get the hard hat and the Timbs for the series on defense.
Him or OG.
It's OG. Like close. He's in the contention.
Yeah.
He's definitely has a good case for it. But the fact that he was able to back up everything that he's saying, you could feel the frustration, the anger, the disdain for where they are, being down 2-1. It felt cathartic. That's the word. It felt cathartic for this team. And he was the conduit for them to rage against that squad.
I'm so happy you put it that way because I was trying to find the words. Like, he was the guy who, right from the opening tip, you're like, oh, he knows the severity of the moment. You could just feel it. We could feel it watching on the TV screen. Other guys played well. There was something about the way that Josh Hart came out where it was like, it was a tone-setting performance from Josh Hart in the first half, which we have come to depend on him for. Look, bench. I mentioned Deuce. Deuce should get a lot of praise. 3 of 6 from 3. All of them felt big on the moment. His 3-point shooting is just so big for this team, even though it's kind of an afterthought sometimes. Jose Alvarado, important minutes in the first half. Like, I was a little down on him when he came in and he got like the over-aggression foul on CJ. Like, honestly, a little bit of a tone setter right there too. And then with the steals, like I think he ended up with 3 steals for the game. All important. So good stuff from him. Jordan Clarkson, how about 21 minutes for Jordan Clarkson? I mean, and he was good.
There needs to be a study on players who reinvent themselves and the way in which they reinvent themselves to help their teams. Because, boy, I've been following Jordan Clarkson majority of his career. I ain't never seen him try to lock up teams like this. Now all of a sudden he's battling OG for per 36. I mean, battling Mitch for per 36 offensive rebounds.
It's insane.
He's been a godsend, and we've said it. We said it when he was signed, and we said it. I know. I was saying it when we got to the trade deadline, and folks were saying, "Yo, we should try to flip Clarkson for somebody else." I was adamant in believing Jordan Clarkson is going to win this team a playoff game. Yeah. Or be significant and instrumental in them winning a playoff game. I can argue that had they not blown game 2, he was instrumental in 2 of them.
He was
he was instrumental since game 1.
He's been great. There's no reason. I gotta tell you, if you would have told me before the series that Landry Shamet was going to lose his spot in the rotation and Jordan Clarkson was going to keep his. I gotta tell you, I would have been like, wow, that's that. But I wouldn't have been like totally shocked because Jordan Clarkson has been playing so well. You mentioned Mitchell Robinson, 5 offensive rebounds in 15 minutes. Made a free throw. Actually made 2 free throws, excuse me. So I don't want to shortchange him at all. I don't want to end on a down note. I do feel like we need to talk about the fact that Mikal Bridges did not check back into the basketball game after he checked out with was about 4.5 minutes into the third quarter. I thought by starting him and like if they played well and the starters played well, which they did, I thought that would like diffuse this to some extent as a conversation point. I mean, they won by a lot and it was a comfortable win. And like, I thought Mikal played okay. Where are you with this storyline? I don't know where I am right now with it. I'll be honest.
So I got to shout out Mike Brown. Mike Brown's been raked through the coals. He's been lashed. I'm talking about he went to Singapore and graffitied the walls and got. That was at least 12. He at least caught 12 on the buttocks. At least 12 on the buttocks because of some of the boneheaded things he's done over the past 2 games. I throw my hands up. I credit him. This was a universally unpopular decision to leave Mikal Bridges in the starting lineup. Universally unpopular. What did I text the Betting and Sweating chat? See you in hell or Magic City. Jeez. What they didn't change the starting lineup. Credit to Mike Brown for putting that faith. Like this was Mikal's game 7. This was Mikal's game 7 to show that he could still contribute. And I think he did that. At least in the first half, he did. I don't know what it is. I think this might be and we could talk about that when we talk about Brunson. Sometimes series ain't for you. And you got to get in where you fit in and try to be as most effective as possible. We cannot discredit Mikal's defense. We cannot. Because he's made Nall look normal. N-A-W look N-O-R-M-A-L for the first few games of this series, his first 4 games. He got his most MIP award today. That's like a red flag. Oh, he's about to go off.
He hit his threes tonight. He hit his threes.
Yes,
tonight,
he hit his threes when he had airspace. Other than that, he really did. And a lot of that did not come on Bridges.
No, you're absolutely right.
So the first half, I think he did well. Honestly, quietly, I think that horse shot that he hit on his ass and he flipped it behind him and it went all net. I think that did more for him than anything else in the game. Not to mention Dyson Daniels talking shit to him on the floor and him showing some aggression. I think that's cool. I also think, hey, part of the reason why folks were more optimistic about this team than last season is you have help. You have a bench and you have teammates that are going to pick you up. Deuce picked them up today. Jordan Clarkson picked them up today. I don't know what happened with him and CJ McCollum. Like, he couldn't stay in front of him. And that's probably why he sat. But I think for when he was in the game, like especially in the first half, he was a stabilizing presence. Hey, he had 8 points?
Yeah, no.
He's 8 more than he had in game 3. So
I literally just put in our private chat here on StreamYard, Mike Brown. There's a video of Mike Brown at which apparently he addresses Mikal not playing most of the second half. Mark, if you want to watch that and give us a sense of like what Mike Brown says as far as the explanation, because nobody transcribed that part. I'm guessing he doesn't say too much about it.
Or is there a copyright strike, Pierce?
I just no, because I don't think I can get the audio up, and it's again the whole thing is not. They didn't transfer. Yeah, it's a weird. It's shout out SNY, our friends at SNY. But like,
is it like the low volume?
It's not even that. It's like Mike Brown talks about sticking with the starting 5 tonight and why Mikal Bridges didn't play most of the second half. But the quote in the thing is, it doesn't say anything about the second half. Whatever. We'll get it. Let's end on a high note because I think the easiest answer for why Mikal didn't play is you just answered it because you're like, we're deeper now. We have Jordan Clarkson here. We have Deuce McBride here. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so they have other places that they can go to. I'm just going to end where I started, and then I'll let you go, and we'll get to the Super Chats, which is like...
Wait, time out. You said you want to end on a high note?
Yeah.
Did you hold your high note yet? Because we still ain't talk about Brunson.
I thought we said what we needed to be said.
You think?
Is there any... What else do you want to say about Jalen?
What's your worry level? What's your worry level?
My worry level with him is never too high because I have more faith in him than any player I've ever watched in a Knick uniform. And so, yeah, 1 bad game in a row, 2, 3, it's now kind of 4 below average Brunson games. I'm just going to believe he's going to be good, fine in game 5. And if he's not good in game 5, I'm going to believe he's fine in game 6. I think, look, it's at this point, I think it's kind of undeniable that physically something like the shiftiness, like I just don't think it's there. Also, you know, the thing with the Hawks, he has had moments against the Hawks this season. Obviously, he had a big game against them late in the regular season, in the first quarter against them to start the series. Like he's had some moments here, but I think the Hawks are just really, 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 really disciplined in how they guard him. And 100%. And that's credit to Dyson Daniels. That's credit to Quinn Snyder. That's credit to Nickeil Alexander-Walker. That's credit to their role players. It's credit to CJ McCollum. You know, like that's not, Onyeka Okongwu. Like it's credit to all these guys. I mentioned Quinn Snyder. Like it's all of them. So I think I hope that this series, hope that they get through the series. But if they get to the next round, I hope this series will have been good for Jalen. And that he figures some things out. And then the ankle, we just got to hope it feels okay. I don't know what else to say. I mean, he had a bad game. Like, turnovers were crazy. Probably didn't need to bring the ball up as much as he did. Didn't need to take a couple of shots that he took. But at the same time, like, I wasn't out. It's not like I'm sitting watching and, like, I'm, like, mad at Jalen because – and you even saw him get into it with his dad. I would love to know what prompted – like, I know we had a lip reader, apparently, who was watching the watch-along who was like, he's saying, I'm trying to help you.
Yeah. I
wonder what he was saying to him. Like, how is he trying to help him? Like, is he saying, like, give up the fucking ball? Like, I would love to know that. I don't know. But I think he's going through it a little bit right now. But I think he's going to be okay.
So a couple of things from me before you do the high note ending, right? One, old man yelling at Cloud, playing with these low top kicks, man. I understand the game is the game right now, but bro, you need to go, whoever Curry specialists were, get whatever he got to stabilize his ankles, because the last thing you want, especially as a smaller guard, is to have bad ankles, because that immobilizes you in ways that you need to be nimble to play hoops. That's first. Second, I'm not really worried about him. I just think my worry is more ego driven and mental.
Interesting.
I think we all have to come to the realization that sometimes these series are our youth series and it's a everybody else series. It has been clear since game one, this is a cat series. I'm not saying, hey, man, what? He led them in field goal attempts again, right? Yeah, he had 11, right? He had 11. I'm not even saying that he has to limit his field goal attempts. Work him.
Who are you talking about, Jalen?
Yeah, Brunson.
Jalen had
unless I
18.
I filtered. My bad.
Yeah, no, Jalen.
That was in the first half. Sorry.
7 of 18. OG 9 of 16. Cat 6 of 10. Hart 4 of 10. And yeah,
right. So and you think about it, 6 of OG's field goal attempts came from cat passes, cat assists. Right.
Yeah.
We're not saying, hey, Jalen, stop shooting. I will say I'm saying two things. One, let Cat be the hub. Make life easier on yourself. Where was all this off-ball movement that we were talking about with you? Where is that gone? Bring that back or run the pick and roll.
Well, he's screening. He is screening
and
effectively. And you pointed that out earlier.
Yeah, I love the effective screening. 2, brother, you do not need to bring up the ball anymore. No more. Daniels got it. Dyson Daniels, yo, you are him, bro. You cannot dribble up the ball. It's like playing against your older cousin, your brother, your older family member. It's like he knows. He just knows. Yeah. It's wild. He just knows. And the Knicks aren't the best dribbling team in the league. So get your best out there, whether it's Clarkson, whether it's Hart, Bridges, this is where you can help too. And you can dribble. I promise you. Get it over the timeline and then run the offense, because Daniels is on another level with it. But yeah, other than that, yeah, we gonna stand by him. We gonna stand by him, and we will always stand by Jalen Brunson. It's just ego-wise, brother. This is not your series. This is your team. It's not your series. And the more you empower everybody else, this should be repeatable in Game 5 and in Game 6.
I will maintain, and I know I'm in the minority on this, I don't think it comes from a place of ego. I think it comes from a place of like, how do I help? It's just, I think it's so antithetical for him. It's just why it's so funny that he's teammates with Cat, because Cat, you could almost say the opposite of that. Of what I'm about to say. It's like, it's so antithetical for Jalen Brunson to think less can be more. And I think that's partially like as a athlete who has built himself up and has fueled himself with like chip after chip after chip on his shoulder, the thought that like, okay, I just need to do less and be more and be like not less involved, but like involved in different ways. I just think you could argue that it's like more mental than physical for him right now. I think 100%. As you just said,
because here's the blueprint, John. They go up by 12. Eventually Quinn says, we are not going to score if Dyson is on the court. You play Dyson Daniels off the court, and now we got Brunson time again.
Dyson Daniels, who just made me think of this, he played 30 minutes. They were a -9, but the rest of the starting lineup played, I mean, were much, actually, he was the best plus minus of the starters. So I don't know what you want about that. Okay. Look, they did, as you said, was it so hard? They did what they had to do. They did what they had to do, and they did it in the way that we wanted them to do it. And now they get 2 days off, which has not always been good, by the way. They don't have...
They play on Monday, don't they?
They play on Tuesday.
Was that always the case?
Yeah. I didn't even pay attention to it. It's Tuesday, Thursday, and then hopefully it will not be needed. But Game 7 would be on Saturday. Let's obviously hope.
Okay, so we're running every other day from Tuesday.
We get 2 days off now because of travel, and then it's every other day from there.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, man, this is Game 5 is y'all Game 7 again. And if you win that, Game 6 is your Game 7. And if you win that, when you play the second round, guess what? Game 1 is your Game 7. I need these Knicks, win or lose. I need these Knicks every playoff game. Well, playoff game.
Then let's talk about ending on a high note. If we get these Knicks in any other playoff game, against any other playoff team in the East at the very least, they will win. That's all there is to it.
Simple.
You know,
plain and simple. And they got to get out. You guys got to get out of this round because there is blood in the water in the Eastern Conference.
Dude,
yo, Boston's fan base is broken, John. They are
the
praying for the Knicks' downfall. Anybody who's heavy on social media, look at the aggregate accounts and the rage baiters and the people who need Elon to pay them $2 in order to eat. They are trolling Knicks fans because they don't want to see the Knicks. They are begging that Cat doesn't become the hub and that these guys don't just click because they don't want to have to go through another series of 3-point variance theater. They don't want to do it, bro. I'm telling you. And I don't know what's happening on the other side of the bracket. The other side of the bracket is like, what the hell? Okay. Listen,
1 p.m. I think it's 1 p.m. tomorrow, right? The Cavs game. That's a
pivotal.
I'm watching that game.
Pivotal.
You know?
Because listen, in the Play the Song series, your vaunted 1 seed is down 1-2 to a team that is the mirror version of themselves with more shot creators.
A lot of shit could happen in the East. No series is decided, including this one. You know,
anything like you can happen.
Game 5's got to be Game 7.
Yeah, that's all every game, the same desperation. Do not get comfortable. Knicks fans, if you in there for Game 5, make them uncomfortable too. Let them know there's business. There's no high fives. You're not on the road in Atlanta seeing the people who moved from New York and the people who made the trip who's gonna turn up because we bought a ticket, we bought a plane ticket, we bought these concessions. I know the concessions are less than MSG too. I know, but y'all bought them. So y'all gonna turn up. Y'all got the same way at home, make MSG uncomfortable for these guys. Get one more win and then go for the head in Game 6. Go for the head in Game 5. Go for the head and then go for the head one more time. No half measures, only full measures. There are jobs on the line. There are legacies on the line. There are regimes on the line. If you like playing for the Knicks, you better win the next 2 games.
I don't know when I first said it.
You better buy a warm jacket.
Cat don't want to go play in Milwaukee.
Yeah, you see it. You see it. There's a wrestler. His name is Roddy Strong. And a joke about him is he used to live in a trailer park before he started wrestling and making a lot of money. And anytime you see him wrestle, people would say, he ain't going back. And he would even say, I ain't going back to that damn trailer park. That's Cat. He's like, I played 2/3 of my career in Minnesota. If I ain't going back to Minnesota, you think I want to be in the cold in Milwaukee? Not me. Zazon Jokic me all day the rest of the series, man. I'm telling you, they play their game. If they played their game, we would be talking about the next round right now.
Listen,
just play your game, bro.
But that's the Knicks. That's this year's Knicks. It is who they are.
I would argue this is post 73 New York Knicks, but I don't want to even open that box. I know we got to get to the super chat.
It's never easy.
Squad bet. We got to get to the stat of the game. I know Mark's son probably screaming in the background like, let's go outside and shoot some hoops.
Jeff, I appreciate you coming on. You're the man. We will.
I hear some smooth sounds of.
I hear something too.
I hear smooth sounds of Atlanta music.
Atlanta! Not so easy being the favorite in a series now, is it?
Not for the faint of heart.
Those lights looked a little bright. Some things looked a little tight. And I say this on behalf of the real contender in this series. I love the way you lose. Goodness.
I love the way you lose.
Out of here, folks. Jeff, thank you for bringing the energy tonight. Jonathan, thank you for being the consternation tonight. That was way too stressful a game in which the Knicks largely dominated for all of you. And this is actually a thing I need to talk to Mr. Macri about. And Jeff, thank you so much for being here.
I'm gonna tag out like the dad joke videos.
Okay,
I'm gonna tag out. Love y'all. Tap in for the Baca breakdown coming soon. And go Knicks. You assholes. Don't do this to us again.
Yes.
Please. All right, y'all. I'm out of here.
Peace.
Jonathan, we need to talk about something. It's a little behind the scenes Knicks Film School, too. So, you called the hangover yesterday a post-mortem. Mortem means they died. This is the third time this year you have titled a podcast post-mortem, which means they have died 3 times this year. They are now alive again, and very much so back in the driver's seat. Please stop calling things involving the Knicks dead until they are actually dead.
It's just always that I honor Christ, my Savior, who I don't know if you know this, died and was risen, and he will come again. And the Knicks, well, they came again tonight.
See, here's the thing, John. The thing about Christ, your Savior, is that you put your faith in him. You know what you don't do?
What you did there.
Put your faith in the New York Knicks, sir. Okay? We believe he rose on the third day. He is risen, being our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
He just
our
called me. He just called me Thomas. Oh, God.
Oh, my. Well, I think there is a Thomas that you do live your life after and exemplify. On a roll tonight, folks. Listen, those 48 hours were very fun, and those 2 1-point wins were very cute. As I said from the start, Knicks in 6 is still alive. I know that Jeff said it yesterday on the playoff hangover. I am not sneak dissing anybody that said Knicks in 5. Knicks in 6, though, is still alive. I promise
Mark picked
you.
Knicks in 6, too.
Yeah, Mark. My brother, my friend, the other person that knew this team is not serious enough to wrap things up in 4 or 5 games. I would like to think that the unseriousness is gone. Karl Anthony Towns, my goodness. We want to talk about the story that was unwritten. Little did we know the playoffs you are getting yourself off and running with, because you are writing a pretty legendary start to your 2026 playoff run, Karl Anthony Towns. What a win, Jonathan Macri. I'm glad I got to watch it with you.
I was about to say I was happy we got to do it together. It was a really fun watch along.
Especially when it started with the way that it did beforehand, and it slowly progressed toward a blowout W over the Atlanta Hawks. Every clank, every turnover, every Jonathan Kuminga ISO that went terribly, I was just reminded why one team was the favorite and is billed to be contenders, and one is playing with house money. So enjoy your house money, Atlanta. We'll take it from here with wins that happened by more than 1 point on some chicanery that resulted in the final minute.
Well said, sir. You want to stick around for squad bat, or you want me to do it?
That's why I'm here, Jonathan Macri.
Okay.
Oh, that is very small. Okay. No, you're good. No, that's me. That's me, Mark. That's my fault. Shout out to the fine folks over at FANATICS Sportsbook. This is our squad bet tonight. So, I want to take you a little behind the scenes. First, for those listening on the podcast feed, squad bets, we should just say, this is on behalf of FANATICS Sportsbook. They have a new thing called squad bets, a new way to parlay the whole squad. We pick a number. We pick 3 players, 3 to 4 players, and they just have to hit a certain number every night, and they give us odds. The odds that we went with tonight and the number we went tonight were Karl Anthony Towns, Miles McBride, and Jordan Clarkson, 40-plus points.
This was my bet.
John suggested this in the Betting and Sweating group chat. I then said, you know what would be fun? Since we didn't know about the starting lineup, what lineup was going to be out there. Instead of Clarkson, let's do Mikal. So it's Cat, Miles McBride, Deuce, and Mikal Bridges. Well, whether we went with Jordan Clarkson or Mikal Bridges tonight, we still would have missed by exactly 1 bucket. The Knicks, this trio of Cat, who had 20 points, Miles McBride, who had 11, and Jordan Clarkson, who had 7, finished with 38 total points. If we had went with Mikal Bridges, who finished with 8, we would have finished with 39 total points. So the squad didn't hit tonight.
I like the logic, though. Karl Anthony Towns had the most dominant offensive game of the playoffs. He just did so only scoring 20 points.
Yeah.
You know? Don't worry. We'll be back with a winning squad bet in Game 5. I'm confident.
100%. Shout out to the fine folks at FANATICS Sportsbook. Check out our squad bet in the FANATICS Sportsbook app before every game. Despite the last 2 games, we've largely hit the squad bets. I've been killing it on the squad bets for the last couple of weeks, so follow my Twitter if you'd like to. And, Knicks and 6 is still back on, folks. Jonathan Macri. I look forward to another watch along with you on Tuesday, as John said, which we should say is Sean with a W's birthday. So hopefully they give him a W.
They
and
better.
The last thing I want to say today, I believe this, I'm actually unsure of the number, but I do know today is the day. Happy birthday, Robert Cross. Today is Robert Cross's birthday. I believe it is his 53rd birthday as well. So happy 53 to Mr. 53 wins. Happy birthday, Robert Cross. I wasn't saying anything. I did tweet out earlier, but I wasn't saying anything on the post game if they lost other than like a subtle one. Thankfully, they got you a birthday W, and hopefully you are enjoying this version of the Knicks Film School Postgame Show. Robert Cross.
I love it. Great stuff, Andrew. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, there we go. Last thing before we get to the super chats. We could save the Brown soundbite for later. Honestly, Mark, if you want to listen to it and just like tell me what he said, that's fine. I do want to pour one out. Not physically because I don't have any liquid around me. For Dante DiVincenzo, who right before we started this post game, actually, went down with a non-contact injury, grabbed the back of his lower leg. Didn't look good. There is no former Knick. Honestly, there's never been a former Knick in my life watching basketball that I have cared about and rooted for as much as Dante DiVincenzo other than when he's playing the Knicks, when every shot he takes to go in. Freaking love that dude, and I hope it's not what it looked like, because Dante is just he's awesome. Just awesome. So yeah, just want to throw that out there. All right, Mark, I know we have a lot of people who have a lot of things that they want to get out, so yeah. We start off with Cool Mo D. Mo Diawar's nickname, appropriately enough, he got in tonight. First time, long time, kids, and I listen every AM. Well, thank you very much. With Game 4 creeping up, so this is before the game, and Detroit melting down, is this the moment to light $20 on fire for the finals, or dare I say, championship? Future, please validate my poor instincts. Thank you. If there was ever going to be a time where the value was worth it to at least place a finals bet, it was going to be before this game. 100%, because I think if you just look around the East, the Knicks are now going to be solid favorites to win the series again, as they should be, by the way, because they've been the better. There's no question who the better team in the series has been. There's no question about who the better team has been. The fact that it's 2-2 is what's making all of us still probably a little angry. And Joel Embiid is questionable for tomorrow. Just throwing that out there. And Detroit's losing in their series, and Cleveland, even if they do win tomorrow in Toronto, and it's going to be an uphill battle. RJ Barrett, shout out to RJ Barrett, playing out of his mind. That like if the Cavs are the best competition they have to face, like I don't think that will be the case, to be clear. I think Boston will beat Philly. I think Boston will be their toughest competition, but like the path is there, man. The path is there. What we said in October, say it again on the doorstep of May. Their toughest opponent is the one that looks at them in the mirror. Thanks, Cool Mo D. Haitian, what's going on, Haitian? Thank you for collaborating with us dumb fans and running the offense through the player everyone told you would win this series. Should be 4-0. Yeah, we should be done. Honestly, we should be done. And that's going to sound dismissive of the Hawks, and I'm sure Hawks fans are going to be like, done. We should be up 3-0 if we, or sorry, not up 3-0. We should be up 3-1 if we had even a halfway decent shooting game tonight that we would have won. All right, I don't know. Like, insanity that they lost game 2, that they couldn't make a single goddamn play for 5 minutes of that game, 4 minutes of that game, whatever it was. And then, obviously, the timeout tomfoolery and this, that, and the other thing. And they had a 3-point lead in the final minute of game 3. You're like, Atlanta's like, a lot of people said this. A lot of Knicks fans said this. A lot of Knicks content people said this. Atlanta, good, fun story. They're not on our level. They're not on our level, which is why it's frustrating that it's 2-2 and not 4-0, but we roll. Thanks, Haitian. Jack Corker, what's going on, man? Knicks really elevated their game. Glad to see they still have that in them, but damn, this series wasn't some Knicks fuck-ups away from a sweep. Let's go, Knicks. And listen, still got work left to do. Still got work left to do. Like, here's the thing. The NBA, for most teams, it's still a shooting variance league. Like, I don't expect the Hawks to come out and shoot 45% from deep on Tuesday, but like, it's not impossible that they could do that. Like, they're a good team. They have good shooters. So like, that's like, until further notice, I will continue to be frustrated about the fact that this is 2-2. Happy they won tonight because, again, you never know what you're going to get. NBA playoffs are like a box of chocolates. So fingers crossed. Thanks, Jack. As I'm just seeing Anthony Edwards also suffered an injury. Oh, my God. Oh, man. Hopefully that looked worse than it is, but I can't imagine he's going to be playing basketball again in this series. My Lord. Iceman Sham, what's going on, man? It's almost like rocket science when we run the offense through Cat, and that play with the OG back screen might be found money because they don't want to switch. Brunson has been involved in some of those screens, so that's been good too. OG's a great cutter. When he has momentum going towards the rim, especially if you're not going to get a big Hawk defender there. A lot of times they're putting Jalen Johnson in those actions, and Jalen Johnson is not a great help defender. Like, that's going to be number one thing that Quinn Snyder is going to need to work on. And the thing is, the Knicks are going to need to anticipate one way or another, like the Hawks are going to need to make an adjustment. The Knicks should be anticipating an adjustment in terms of how the Hawks guard those actions. What's going to be the counter? Another one from Iceman Sham. And man, I thought those Jose minutes were doomed, seeing him doubling or dribbling across the court, but that steal and 3 probably saved the season. I don't know if any single play in this game saved the season, but like, I thought his steals were big. I thought his 3 was big. Like, yes, things were getting dicey. I forget what the lead got down to, but like the second quarter of this game was extremely tense. I don't think the third quarter ever got quite that tense. But the second quarter certainly did, and his minutes turned out to be huge. Thanks, Iceman. Sam Garcia's dad, what's up, Ray? F the Hawks, F Trae Young, F the haters, and I'll be kind and say, just shame on the Knicks fans throwing in the towel after 3 games. I'm not going to shame. I'm not above shaming my brother and sister in. That's not a word. When the situation is called for. Giving up on Jalen Brunson and wanting to usher Jalen Brunson out with yesterday's trash, I will shame some folks for that, because if there is anyone who has earned the right to have us stick with him through ups and downs, thick and thin, it is Jalen Brunson. Fans feeling frustrated to the point of being like, man, really, this is how we're going to go down. This is the bullshit that we're going to go down with. After how they've played at times this season and like the way that they lost those 2 games, and especially game 2, but like the way they lost those 2 games, and then kind of with the backstory of like, this was not Mike Brown's finest, whatever you want to call it, 48 or 72 hours, and like how that whole thing went down, which is kind of where my focus was. I'm not going to begrudge anyone for getting pretty down on things after 3 games. Because that, like, the Knicks have earned that, with their play, with their actions. They have earned that. Now, I'm not saying give up on them. And I think a lot of the people who were expressing frustrations, me included, I don't think any of us were giving up on them. I don't think any of us were giving up on the season. But look, we're still in it. Should win the series in 6 games. Go out there and do it. Thanks, Ray. Mikey Havoc. What's going on, Mikey? OG is our star player. Do we need to talk about moving on from JB and keeping Cat? My God, Mikey. Jesus Lord. Up in heaven. Pray for us. OG's really great. He's a really good cutter. He does not create advantages. In a way, he creates advantages in that he plays off of Cat's ability. And yes, in a way that is creating an advantage. Jalen Brunson still puts the most pressure on a defense in a specific way. You could say that Cat puts more pressure on the defense in his own way. You need a guy to initiate offense, and you need everything, you need everything. You need everything to work in unison. Jalen Brunson has not had a great series. He is still Jalen Brunson. And the best thing I could say, honestly, Mikey, the best evidence in this series for why you don't allow 4 rough games influence your thought process when it comes to something like this. This offense has been pretty good for a while. This Hawks offense has been good for a few months. They have different things that they can do to put pressure on you. They've done certain things in this series. The Knicks have given up 103.5 points a game. And Jalen Brunson's played a lot of minutes. So for as much as it feels like, man, the Knicks can't stop, the Hawks when Brunson's on the court, they actually kind of have. Or they've done it enough to win. So, no. We will not be moving on from Jalen Brunson today, sir. Next up. Oh, my goodness gracious. Mickey, what are we doing here? Come on. I really, thank you. My Lord. Thank you. Should have been a sweep. Buying an Alvarado jersey. I can't explain the Atlanta shooting. Josh Hart, what defense? Most importantly, that Cat and 1 in the second. He's grown so much this year with respect to his offensive fouls. No hook. And that pass to Brunson for 3. Stay hungry. All right, you're getting each one of those addressed one by one, Mickey. Least I could do. Buying an Alvarado jersey. Well, he does have a player option for next year, so I don't know that I'd go running and buying that yet. But he had his moment today. No matter what Jose Alvarado does for the rest of the series, no matter what Alvarado does for the rest of these playoffs, he now has a moment as a Knick, a real moment. It's why 20 years from now, if someone brings up the name campaign, I'm going to be like, oh, yeah, Detroit, game 1. That's it. It's all he needed. And why if someone 20 years from now brings, I hope he does more than just this tonight, what he did tonight. But if someone brings up Jose Alvarado, I'll be like, oh, yeah, when he had 3 steals, game 4, Hawks. Now, it wasn't quite as important, I think, as campaign's game 1 against Detroit, but it was really good. And the 3 was huge. And he brought the right attitude. He brought the attitude the Knicks needed tonight. The Atlanta shooting, they are a good shooting team. They are not a great shooting team. And I think the Knicks have been very smart. Not always something you could say about the Knicks defense. They have been very smart about who they are allowing to shoot threes. And when they do give up open or wide open ones, which they have, it is to the people that you want. They're good shooters. If they're good shooters or hitting threes, they're generally tough-ish threes. Josh Hart, no notes. The defense from him, just insane. Cat growing. He had the 1 offensive foul on Tony Bradley, which was after they were already up 20, so I didn't even mind it too much. Few and far between in this series. As good as Cat has played in this series, and you're talking about he's grown so much and his passing past the Brunson for 3 in particular. Yes, absolutely. The thing that I thought there were a couple of things that I didn't love about Cat's playoffs last year. One of them was he had stretches of games where I thought he was like actively contributing to them losing the game, and it was like very concentrated, like in a short period of time, where it's like, oh my god, we got to get him off the court. Now, I will say, in fairness, because a lot of people have accused me not being fair to Cat in terms of like I always give Brunson a pass. Brunson had some of those stretches tonight, like a couple of the turnovers, bringing the ball up against Dyson Daniels. Like he had 2 turnovers in the first like 5 or 6 minutes of the game. Both were of the same variety. Trying to bring up the ball against Dyson didn't go well. So like, I don't know that I ever got the feeling tonight like, oh my God, we have to get Jalen Brunson off the court. Now that's part of also like they don't really have anyone. All due respect to Alvarado, they don't really have anyone to back him up in the same way that the Knicks have Mitchell Robinson to back up Cat. But like, my point is Cat has not had, I don't think in 4 games, a single stretch where I'm like, oh no, this is bad Cat. We got to get him out of there. I think there was, what did he have? I think it was a stretch of was it game 2 or game 1? One of those 2 games. He had like a stretch in the second quarter where it was a little rough, but like, he's just been so good. He's been so consistent. 84 points on 47 shots. I actually just looked up before. So you want to know why the series is 2-2 and like Cat's series in a nutshell. He's not among the top 50 usage guys in the playoffs. Now, granted, if you look at the stats as sorted by NBA.com, there are 15 to 20 like role players who don't play like a lot of minutes or they don't play a lot of minutes that have like higher usage rates because like when they've gotten in, they've just happened to take some shots. So in reality, he's like amongst guys that are actually like that caliber of player. He's probably more closer to like 35 in usage rate, 30 to 35, but still 30 to 35, you could be like, well, that's way too low. But then you remember usage is calculated how? Shots and turnovers. Assists are not part of usage rate. So it's not really a full and fair reflection of how much he is being allowed to impact the game. Should it be more? Yes. The important part, and this is going to the 84 points on 47 shots, his effective field goal percentage is 64.9. Doing just a quick glance before of like, again, amongst guys that are actually playing real, like taking like real numbers of shots, that's like pretty like borderline top 5, which is just the ultimate testament to him. Thanks so much, Mac. You really appreciate it, man. Ray with another one. Continued. Are you guys new to Knicks fandom? Nothing comes easy. They will make you sweat, but we're winning this series. Hashtag Magic City is overrated. Don't tell that to the Knicks. They were having Magic City wings in the locker room after the game. Yeah, I guess my response to that is there has been a lot of silliness this year. There was some silliness last year. There was some silliness in the playoffs last year. I think the hope was that they would cut out a lot of that silliness by the time the playoffs started. And I think the other 2 parts of it that I think is the reason a lot of people got in their feelings in a certain type of way, myself included, with games 2 and 3 are, one, Jalen Brunson was like kind of at or near the top of the blame list, which was just a very, frankly, unsettling thought. It still is kind of an unsettling thought. He didn't play a great game tonight. So that's number 1. And then number 2, and this was the big thing for me, is just I felt like Mike Brown was like actively sabotaging the basketball series. And that's just not something I shouldn't speak for anybody else. That is not something that I have felt over the previous 5 years. Others may disagree. So it was like, yeah, like this is who the Knicks are. There was some of that, but there was also like, oh, this is like new and different and like yucky in a different, unpleasant sort of way. Again, this is just my explanation of it and kind of where I'm coming from. Thanks, Ray. I appreciate the generosity. And one more from Ray. Lots of heroes tonight, but props to Cat, OG, and Grand Theft Alvarado. I got bad news for GTA. He's not getting one of my stars of the game. It's going to be Cat, OG, and Josh. And the only real question I have is, I mean, it's not even really a question. I was going to say who gets second honors and who gets third honors. It's probably going to go Cat, then OG, then Josh. But like, man, Josh's impact in the first half defensively in particular was so outsized and it was so important, and he was so vital in setting the tone. It's going to feel really rough for me to put him third, but I mean, OG was just really good. So thanks, Ray. I am AK Legend. What's going on? And I would probably put Deuce before Jose, if I'm being honest. Cat's process has been nothing short of phenomenal this series. Glad we got the win and glad he's getting his flowers. I would put Cat's process. Well, if I'm going to combine process / approach, I would put it at like an 8.5, maybe an 8.75. Because just like there have been stretches, including games 2 and 3, which they lost, where it's like, come on, Cat, we need you here. We need a little bit more from you here. You know, come up and set the screen. Don't wave it off. Like, you got a little guy on you. Post up. You know, do the dirty work. And I, at the same time as I say that, I am cognizant of the fact that Cat's like, well, wait a minute. You want me to be this, meaning what he did tonight. But now you also want me to be like a traditional screen and roll guy. Like, but you also want me to be like, you know, Jokic occasionally, where I'm not bad example. Like, you know, I have a little guy on me, like, you know, let me put, like, you want me to be all these different things at once. And I do sympathize with him. What are they asking him to do? They're asking him to be the best player in the series. There's like 10 guys in the league that are capable of being the best player in a playoff series. Maybe that's short, like 15, whatever. He could do it in any series, almost any series that he's a part of. He's that good. He's that talented. He has that many God-given gifts. So if I'm grading him on the standard that I think he would want to be graded on, because I think he thinks pretty highly of his own abilities, then yeah, for me, process, approach, all that shit, it's like an 8.75. Pretty damn good, though. Thanks, IMAK. Tony with another one. Thanks for hopping on the watch along, Tony. Best of 3 with 2 at MSG. Ball up top. Love it. Nothing else needs to be said. With another one, and prayers up for Dante. Yeah, they showed a shot of him being wheeled down the hallway with his leg pretty heavily wrapped up. I'm like, look, there's no one who will attack his rehab harder than Dante DiVincenzo. I promise you that. Thanks, Tony. Danny Shevsky, what's going on, Kev? I think Cat should pretty easily be the 4th best Knick of the century. I know he's not perfect, but you can't take playoff games like that for granted. I'm just wondering if there's even any conversation needed. Can I give Josh Hart can I interest you in at least a discussion about Josh Hart? Just because there have been so many more playoff games for Josh in this stretch, and he is I mean, as everybody has pointed out, there's no more consistent playoff riser on the Knicks. But I think it's those two, and like, and OG's moving up the list, man. He's moving up the list. But for me, it's probably now at this point down to Josh and Kat for 4. Thanks, Kev. Thomas John Bosco. What's going on, Thomas? Carl knows how to pass the damn basketball. Keep it moving through the big fella. He's averaging 5 assists a game. He's averaging 5 assists a game, which is pretty good. That's pretty good. He's a good basketball player. Thanks, Thomas. Same as Josh, by the way. Brunson's at 5.3. Interesting. Danishevsky with another one. Also, OG needs to be in the top 10 on the next version of that list. Yeah, there's no question. I was lower on all the current guys. I don't know why. I just, in my mind, it's like, I don't know. The past is precious. Yes. His two-way play has been outstanding the entire series. Josh, also great defensively. Yeah, I think if you're doing a top 10 Knicks of the century list right now, I think I may have brought this up, or someone may have brought this up. You may have brought it up. I don't even know. On a recent pod, Jalen doesn't move down. He's still number 1. But Jalen's in the top 10. Obviously, he's at the top of the list. Kat, Josh Hart, OG, and Mitch. I think all 5 of those guys have to be in the top 10. Am I forgetting anybody? No, I think all 5 of those guys need to be in the top 10. And I don't even think I think it's pretty comfortable. Thanks, Kev. Jason, what's going on, man? I can't believe how well Cat is playing. All the talk of Mike Brown not knowing how to use Cat. This is the best Cat has ever looked in the playoffs. I'm sure you could have a robust discussion with a Wolves fan about the Denver series in 2024. But he didn't dominate the offense in that series. He's dominating the offense now. Mike Brown's getting the best out of Cat. That's why the crime, and it is a fucking crime, of game 3 and game 4 with Mike Brown is, dude, you're nailing the hard stuff. Like, clearly, that there's a game plan here that works. You've gotten Cat to buy in. Like, the defense, I understand it hasn't been perfect, but like you've devised the defensive game plan that is okay. I quibbled with moving Jalen over to Dyson, but like all things considered, it's kind of worked okay. You nailed the hard stuff, and you fucked it up with like bullshit, with timeouts and like weird overthinking lineups and rotations, and like with the Mitch 11, like what do we like? So Mike Brown, talk about redemption. There's still a time for Mike Brown. There is still time for Mike Brown to come out of this thing looking very good. Let's hope he does. Oh, sorry. So Mark did some transcribing. In the second half, Mike Brown said knew that Jalen would be double teamed. And when they did, Deuce got some big threes, and ultimately it felt like Deuce was rolling, so he stayed with him. It's not crazy. Like, and this is in reference to Mikal Bridges. Deuce was rolling. Deuce was playing out of his mind. And he's a better above the break shooter. I mean, that's essentially what Mike Brown is saying without saying it there. Mikal Bridges is not a guy right now, or really, honestly, like since he's been here, that you're going to trust wholeheartedly above the break from 3. Deuce is. And that's such a massive component of floor spacing, because OG, you want OG in the corners because that's where he shoots best from, and you also want him cutting from there. Like And then so you need dues. Anyway, this is from New York basketball Twitter account, OG on Cat. He's a special talent. He could do it all. No matter how tight the window is, he'll find me. It's amazing playing with a player like him. I think OG and Cat are like definitely bros, which is fine by me. Okay, next up. Jeremy Anselson. I hope I got that right. This feels blasphemous, but was Brunson going down in the third a blessing in disguise? Forced us to run the offense through Cat and help defensively at a time when they were cutting into our lead. We were all thinking it at the time. I was thinking it at the time. Andrew made a joke about it. Yeah, I think it's okay to say that, Jeremy. It's not blasphemous. Like, it hasn't been a Brunson series. It's been a Cat series. I'm not saying that they're not. And this is, I want to ask DJ and or Benji about this. Like, I feel like Brunson being out there and like he is just by being out there, he is still helping his team in ways, even if you can't draw like a direct line to maybe always how or why. I mean, he always occupies a ton of defensive attention, to say nothing of the fact that he occupies a good defender. I mean, that in and of itself is a big deal. And you're always on red alert with Brunson. Doesn't matter how poorly he's playing. If you're an opposing team, you're always going to be on red alert with Brunson. So, and then when you get him involved in screening actions, which he was involved in tonight, even more to the point. So, yeah. Thanks, Jeremy. Not blasphemous at all. Dom Cappuccini. I know Dom's happy tonight. Thank you for the generous contribution, Dom. Fantastic win. Number 1. I understand the desire to want this as a sweep or in 5 games. What's done is done. With how the rest of the East looks so far, the Knicks still can be looked at as a contender, even if it takes 7 games to beat Atlanta. Couple of things. 1, you're right. 2, I don't want to go 7 games. 3, the East is wide open. No one should be heavy favorites in the East. Not Boston, not Cleveland, not us, not Detroit, not anyone. No one should be heavy favorites. The roadmap is there. Take advantage of it. Please. Thank you, Dom. Precocious Salmon. Phil, I haven't heard from you in a while, bud. So this is what a Cat series looks like. One of the best games I've seen him play, if not the best. Needs to be the number 1 option the rest of the series. It seems so obvious. It seems so obvious. And yet, if there's one thing that I'm like a little worried about going into game 5, it's like, okay, you know the roadmap. Are you going to take it out? Are you going to have your flashlight ready? Are you going to it's right there. It's right there. Just read the map. Just read the map and follow the directions. That's all it is. Thanks, man. Avery Whitehall. What's going on, Avery? I love that they didn't let the game get close. Hope those last two Brunson buckets got him out of his shooting funk. I thought the same thing when I watched them, and that's why, amongst all the different things that were at the top of my mind to talk about at the top of this postgame show, I think one of the first things I said was like, I really hope those last couple of buckets get him going. I felt it at the time because, like, here's the thing. There's a lot, like, yes, we're all on the same page. It should be a Cat series. We're all on the same page. Brunson hasn't been great. Like, there's no universe where the Knicks make it to the finals if Jalen Brunson doesn't go back to being Jalen Brunson at some point. It's just not going to happen. It's just not realistic. So, yes, let's hope those get him going. And let's go Knicks. Yes. Bill Peterfriend, what's going on, Bill? How you doing, man? Break from Knicks to give prayers to Dante, who I'll add in a May or look like he tore his Achilles. It looks like tough. The Knicks are back. They need to sustain that defense each game. I'm going to pull up I'll pull it up right now. I'm just curious. This should be updated. The on-offs for this series. Just curious. I don't even have a theory as to what I'm going to find, other than my guess is that the defensive rating with Brunson on the court is going to be higher than when he's off. But I want to see it. All right. Taking a minute for the page to load. So let's go to the next super chat. Sam Garcia, great response. Needed that. 100%, Sam. This was, I really felt pretty strongly like if this was a nip and tuck game the whole way through, I'd be happy that they won. Don't get me wrong. I'd be happy, but I would be like, I don't know. I needed this. I needed them to win convincingly. Let's just say that. Why is this only giving me 2 games of on-offs? This is weird. Okay, thanks, Sam. Travis Robbins, what's going on, Travis? Update. I have been taken to Rikers Island. Jose will be here later tonight. We already started a gang named Where's CJ and plan to own Cell Block D. This is a fantastic super chat. I already forgot the last 2 games. Let's fucking go. I wish I could forget the last 2 games. If they win the series, in 6 games, I will forget the last 2. And I won't even, it'll be out of sight, out of mind. If it goes 7, now, even if they win in 7, it's going to be probably not until like the result. If they go to 7 and win in 7, the result of the next series will determine for me how much I will let games 3 and or 2 and or 3 linger in my mind moving forward. So stay tuned. Great Jose line there. Rob DeLusmo. What's up, JM? Nothing better than on a Saturday than watching the Knicks play or place their collective boot firmly up the Hawks' ass. No notes. 10 out of 10. Yes. Thanks, Rob. Oscar, what's going on, Oscar? Play through Cat and OG. Get the next 2. Hashtag Knicks and 6. Yeah. Josh Hart, keep playing like you're playing. Deuce McBride, keep playing like you're playing. Jordan Clarkson, keep playing like you're playing. Mitchell Robinson, keep playing like you're playing. Again, this is a real compliment to Mike Brown. I genuinely mean this. This is a real compliment to Mike Brown. Most of their team is playing really well. Even Jose tonight played well. It really is just Brunson and Bridges, and again, Bridges tonight was okay. Game 1, Bridges was okay. He even started off game 2 okay. So I don't think Bridges is like completely going to evaporate or has evaporated or anything like that. A lot of guys are playing well, and that's a credit to coaching. Thanks, Oscar. True statement. What's going on? True statement. Leaving MSG South. Well, did you have yourself a time tonight? Good for you. Glad you got to see that one in person. A Nick takeover. Great effort from everyone. Loved how we applied pressure on CJ early in the game to make him earn his shots. I really did think the defense on CJ was maybe not exceptional. What's like one step down from exceptional? It was really, really good. I thought they mixed in aggression with man, these Wolves are feisty. Sorry, I'm watching this game and like there's no reason the Wolves should be in this game, and yet they are. Credit to their role players, and I just assume in particular. It was good defense on TJ McCollum. He did not beat them tonight, which is the best compliment that you could say. And I think the Knicks know, and Mike Brown knows at this point, like, oh, if we lose this series, it's going to be because of this fucking guy? No, we're not going to let him beat us. Like, we're going to stay sound and we're going to like completely not abandon our other responsibilities, but like, we are not going to let this dude beat us. And I don't think he let them beat them today. Luyen, what's going on, Luyen? Man, it's so hard not to overreact to these intense playoff series. Who knows what happens, but we're tied and regain momentum against a very good team. Knicks fans stay locked and not disengaged. It's a great. That's how I would put it. That's how I would put it. I would put it just like that. Because you're acknowledging, Luyen, that it is really hard not to overreact. The playoffs are made for overreactions. Thinking back to last year, my God, was the sky falling for me after game 2 against Detroit, after game 5 against Detroit, after game 3 against Boston, after game 5 against Boston, when Tatum was already out. I was like, you got to be effing kidding me with this shit. Now the overreaction was warranted after game 1 against Indiana, but that was a unique situation. It's wise words. It's wise words, and probably as from someone who's been around the block. Now, I've been around the block, and I still overreacted. Probably a little bit has to do with, that I do this full time now, but it's also has to do with this team. To a lot of the comments, they're just they're a unique bunch. High highs, low lows. Smooth sailing is not common. Anyway, they did regain momentum, and then look, they just kicked the shit out of a team on the road in their building. Credit. Thanks, Leon. Pod save the rivalry. What's going on? This is the cat and offense that we were sold on with Brown. Looking like Sabonis is an offensive hub, more team ball, et cetera, encouraging. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see. Look, get through the series, ideally in 6 games. And if it's Boston next series, which is a team that can switch more liberally and has the personnel to switch more liberally, I'm interested to see how much it can continue. I hope it can, obviously. And I think it can. I'm not putting it past him or them for this to continue. Thanks, Pod. Anthony Edwards also out for the game. All right, we got a bunch from Hush. Big ups to Cat, man. He's been nothing short of great since the All-Star break. He's been incredible till JB gets his head on straight. This is Cat's team for now. Don't do that, Hush, man. Don't do that. Don't do that. JB's having a rough series, man. It ain't about him having his head on straight. Is he going through it a little bit? But like, it is so much more complicated than we make it out to be. Again, we make it sound so simple. Just run the offense through Cat. JB has to continue to put pressure on the defense. If he does not put pressure on the defense, the offense just will not be as effective. They have to fear him. Them fearing him opens up everything else for everybody else. And then you get into questions about, all right, where's the dividing line? Where's the dividing line between I need to make them feel me. I need to make them feel me in the ways that I know they need to feel me to react to me. So that when I'm involved in an action as a screener, they're not just going to be like, oh, we don't have to worry about him. He's not going to shoot because he's passing the offense off the Cat. No, this shit is hard, man. This shit is hard. And also, he knows he needs to get himself going. So, love you, Hush. Appreciate you, the whole thing. You've been way too hard on JB this whole playoff run. I get it's frustrating. This guy is the fucking messiah to this franchise. And don't you or anybody else forget it. Please, I beg of you. Another one from Hush. The deuce adjustment was huge for Mike. Mikal can make it up against Boston, assuming we get there. It just isn't his series, and that's okay. I don't know. I think Mikal needs to play better. I think if Mikal was playing better, it would be more of a Macau series, but he's been, he was fine tonight, but whatever. And yeah, playing Deuce McBride more, never a bad idea. Thanks, Hush. Another one from Hush. Prayers to our guy, DiVincenzo. Gutted seeing that. Yes. Me and you both. Me and every Knicks fan. Every basketball fan. Jerry D. What's going on, Jerry? Incredible team win. Intensity was off the charts. They don't have an answer for Cat and OG. Continue to run the offense through them, and JB will wake up to bury them. Yeah, JB, that's the thing. Brunson's going to be fine. Brunson's going to be fine. It's a tough go of things right now. Jalen Brunson will have a big moment in this series. I would bet anything on it. But yeah, amen to everything you said. It was absolutely incredible team win. And to your point about the intensity, Quinn Snyder, the start of the game, their physicality bothered us. We didn't do the things that we need to do to have success against them. And then he also specifically praised, wait for it, Josh Hart, who guarded everybody tonight, according to Quinn Snyder. And yeah, thanks, Jerry. And then this is from Nickeil Alexander-Walker. They just upped their intensity and their aggression. They wanted it more. They played harder. It's a home team saying this. The home team. Mikey Havoc with another one. The team just needs optimization. Who can we live without, replace with a workman-like player and focus on our strengths? Well, first of all, I'm not thinking about the offseason tonight. Second of all, the way this team was constructed, the reality is they can't really live without anybody in their top 7. Everybody in their top 7, if those guys play up to their capabilities and they do all of the different things that they need to do and they were acquired to do, the team is they're the best team in basketball. The issues over the last 2 years have stemmed from the fact that guys, it always seems like one or two players is not doing the things that they are needed to do or that they were envisioned doing when the team was assembled, which then leads to questions about, okay, is it the coaching? Is it these 5 guys or whatever, this group of guys? Or is it the starting 5? Do we just need to move someone else out and move someone else in? And the whole thing, that's why it's really, really, really difficult whenever you talk about trades with this team, because it's like, all right, great. You want to move Macau? Okay, great. Who are you going to get that's going to do A, B, C, and X, Y, Z? They need Macau. They need the best version of Macau Bridges to do. Same thing with Cat. Same thing with Jalen. Same thing with Josh. All these guys. So, no one's expendable. There's not anybody in their top 7 that they could quote unquote live without. It's about playing up to their capabilities and playing together as a team, which I think we saw tonight. That's the optimization. The optimization is not, now look, the one thing you can say that has been consistently said for the last few years, the need for a secondary creator. You know what it didn't look like they needed tonight? A secondary creator. You know why? Because Cat's out there being Nikola Jokic and creating in a way that is just brilliant. So, every time you think that there's too many questions to answer, they just they provide all the answers you need. Thanks, Mikey. S. Ben, woo! Let's fucking go, baby. We all needed this. If they lost this game, man, I don't. It's official. Fuck. Torn Achilles. Man. I hate it. Okay. Dante DiVincenzo, I should say, in case anybody missed that. Thanks, Sean. Z Big Freeze. Knicks blew game 2, had a late lead in game 3, could have swept. Brunson screens on the OG backdoor cuts were very nice. Spam it. Yep. I brought it up in the opening monologue. Jeff brought it up. It's why, like, if you're going to talk about Jalen's game, you got to talk about his whole game. And you can't, and again, it's why you can't pick and choose. Like, why is he so dangerous as a screener? Because the Hawks respect the hell out of him as an offensive player. So, yeah. Thanks, man. Miguel Bustos, what's going on, Miguel? Getting lit tonight, boys. Be back, baby. I'm not going to lie. I keep looking. I looked back a few times. I have a couple of beverages in the beer fridge. I had a large sake last night, though, at dinner. It was very good. And really don't want to have anything to drink today. But I do. Maybe while I'm writing my newsletter, I'll pour myself like 2 fingers with a cube. Thanks, Miguel. Mark, we could do the stat whenever you want. We do the stat now. We can do the stat now. 10 assists for Karl Anthony Towns. Shout out to Jonah Kaufman for our stat of the night. This was double Cat's previous high in playoff assists. Wow. Came with 10 rebounds and 20 points on only 10 shots. 4th most points per shot attempt in his playoff career. Pretty good. Marks the first career playoff triple-double and only the 7th in Knicks franchise history. Yeah, we saw Clyde, Dick McGuire, and Josh Hart had the other ones. So pretty nice, cool group for Karl Anthony Towns to join. This team could beat you in a lot of ways. Thanks, Jonah. Freeway Hustler, what's going on? I said JB has been figured out. I see that as a positive. If he can figure out how to counter the counter, then he can go back to being dangerous. I prefer that being the reason he's not playing than him regressing. I think it could be a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. Like I said, I think the Hawks have done a great job scouting him, sticking to the scout, being sound. And I do think it's a little bit of just physically he's not fully there. And then we just sometimes you miss shots. Sometimes you miss shots. Like, what was he tonight? He was actually 3 of 7 from deep. That's pretty good. But there were some good looks that he made. Like, he was 7 for 18, right? He was 7 for 18. He had 6 turnovers. 6 turnovers is bad. Like, bring the ball up a little bit less. Go from 6 turnovers to 3 turnovers, which is always, that's fine against this Hawks team. And you make 2-3 more shots. So now all of a sudden, instead of 7 for 18, it's, 10 for 18. And it's 25 points on 18 shots with 3 turnovers. And all of a sudden, we're sitting here being like, hey, Jalen, you had a nice game. Now, that's 6 outcomes that are different. So, you say that about a lot of players. Like, oh, if you just change these 6 things, he had a great game. I understand what I'm doing. I'm picking and choosing a little bit. But I don't feel like Brunson is as far away as maybe others might think. And Anthony Edwards set to go undergo tests. Okay. Thanks, Freeway Hustler. I just realized I have this game. I'm sitting up here watching our beloved president say, I don't know what the fuck he's saying because I have the TV on mute. And I'm like, when are they going to go back to the game? And I realize I have Peacock. Why am I just not watching the game? Oh, wait, no, it's on ABC this game. Right? I think it's on ABC. Yeah, it's not. I don't think it's on Peacock, unless I'm mistaken. That would be weird if the game was on ABC and Peacock. Yeah, no, it's not. This is not good. I guess I just have to wait. Okay. Mr. Fabro, to be clear, I agree with giving JB grace, but why does he deserve so much more than Cat? Because he's earned it. Because he's earned it with what he's meant to this franchise. For me. That's me. Others may feel differently. For me, JB gets the longest rope. And it's also a little bit of a matter of opinion. You know, I believe that Jalen Brunson has gone above and beyond in a lot of different ways. And I'm not as sure that Cat always has. Is that correct? I don't know. It's why it's my opinion. So, but it's mostly the fact that, like, I know the work ethic. I know what he's about. I know what he cares about. I know what his priorities are. I never have to question any of that stuff. So, for me, that's why I'm always going to give him more grace. Thanks, Mr. Fabro. Michael Joseph, what's going on, Michael? Run the offense through Cat. Good adjustment. Appreciate KFS so much. Thank you. Well, thank you for the generous contribution, Michael. We appreciate you. Thanks. Parrish Duggar said DiVincenzo looks like he blew his Achilles. He did indeed. Yeah. Prayers up again for a guy that I don't know a Knicks fan alive or anywhere that doesn't love Dante DiVincenzo. All right, we got 3 more from Hush. Hush, very active. One thing for off-ball JB, we always say make it easier on yourself. Off-ball, be off-ball. Is it really easier for JB? Like, he's not Curry. He still works really hard to get through defenders. Just food for thought. I'll lean on the great Benji Ridholtz, who pointed out recently in one of his grade books, JB is a brilliant off-ball player. He does it. It's different than Curry, but he's really good off-ball. I just think he feels like for him to have the impact that he feels like he needs to have, there needs to be on ball too. Is the balance off? 100. I absolutely think. Again, we saw him getting in, not in a screaming match with his father on the sidelines, but they were going at each other. You know, it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest if Rick was like, stop beating your head against a fucking wall against his team. So no one should be like, oh, yeah, the balance is fine. Jalen. No, the balance is not fine. Jalen needs to be better physically. He needs to be better mentally. The decision, everything needs to be better. It's just about, how much are you blaming him? Another one, a couple more from Hush. The reason I'm so hard on JB is just purely desperation. This is it. This is our chance. If it was LeBron James playing like this, I'd be on his case heavy too. Desperate for a chip. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I don't know. Everybody reacts to things differently, but I appreciate where you're coming from, Hush. And then, as much as I love the guy and what he's done in offs for us previously, ultimately, they lead to nothing. Oh, in the playoffs, they lead to nothing. The position we're in the conference, I'm just desperate and want and need him to be great. It's really hard to win a championship. Charles Barkley never won a championship. John Stockton never won a championship. Karl Malone never won a championship. David Robinson never won a championship as his team's best player. Dominique Wilkins never fucking sniffed a championship. Patrick Ewing. Thank you, Mark. This guy over my which shoulder? That shoulder. Never won a championship. We could go through lots of, the fucking, Satan calling the game tonight for NBC. Never won a championship. Loathes me. I'm loath to say it. He's one of the greatest players in the history of the game. Jason Kidd never won a championship as the best player on his team. Gary Payton never won a championship. It's like whatever. We keep doing this. I won't bore anybody. But like Steve Nash, I'll throw one more. Steve Nash, 2-time MVP. Never won a championship. Kevin Durant never won a championship until he hooked up with Steph Curry. How about that? It's really, really, really hard. And oh yeah, Gary Payton did as a role player with the Heat. I forgot about that. Thank you, Mark. And I'm not saying we excuse people because things are hard and they don't do it, but like, I don't know. Like, I get it. This is their best chance, but Brunson has still done more for this franchise than in the last 50 years than any single player since Patrick Ewing. It's probably better than any single player since Patrick Ewing over the last 50 years. And he has gotten more. He's gotten more out of less than, I don't know. Are there 10 players in the history of the league that have gotten more out of their ability than Jalen Brunson? So I get wanting to see a championship. I'm 40. I'm going to be 43 in 2 weeks. Trust me. I want to see a championship. I really do. I really, really do. I don't know. I'm always going to have grace for this dude. Always. Thanks again, Hush. Appreciate the generosity, man. OG team, that Brunson shoot under 20 field goals record stat is real AF. The record is unequivocally better when he doesn't shoot as much. Now, I think I'm always leery to lean on that too much because I feel like there are a lot of the games where he doesn't shoot a lot, or games where he doesn't need to shoot a lot because the team like is playing really well and guys are just like firing away from three. But no, there's reality to that. Like they're at their best when everybody is contributing. I think Jalen Brunson would be the first person to admit that. It's about achieving the balance. And that's the other part that I meant to say. Every great player, maybe with the exception of like Nikola Jokic, that I could remember watching in the last 35 years of watching basketball. Every great player has struggled at times with the balance between how much do I shoot and how much do I try to get my team involved. Kobe Bryant, people still worship Kobe Bryant as like their GOAT. You want to talk about a guy who struggled between that balance and like a lot of people would argue that maybe never quite got the balance right. Michael Jordan struggled for years, early on in his career. It's just hard. It's just hard. It's not, it's hard. Thanks, OG team. Aunt Rich, what's going on, man? Can we please get another ball handler or a screener to help take pressure off of Brunson when he brings the ball up? Yeah, look, ideally the team would have, to the question earlier about like, I forget how we phrased it, like allocation of resources or optimization or whatever the hell that was. Like, yes, in a perfect world, they would have a better version of Jordan Clarkson. Not that Jordan Clarkson hasn't been awesome. He has been awesome. But they would have like a better version of Jordan. In a perfect world, you know what they would have? They would combine Deuce McBride and Jordan Clarkson into one player and have that player be like an inch taller than both of those guys or 2 inches taller than both of those guys. But guess what? If they had that player, he'd probably be a max player, And oh, by the way, you know who they probably thought they were getting when they traded for Mikal Bridges? Probably thought they were kind of getting maybe that player or something close to it. Not to bring it down again, but like Mikal was supposed to solve a lot of these issues. Maybe not the screening part, but Thanks, Ant. Kareem, what's going on, Kareem? OG Anunoby made in a lab for playoff basketball. Amen to that, man. Great comment. Great way to put it. It's such a seemingly like a nothing statement or I'm going to throw praise on my guy. A lot of guys are not made for playoff basketball. He is absolutely made for playoff basketball. Now, well, let me read the rest of your comment. Worth every penny this time of year. Set the tone on both ends. Let's get game 5. Love. The best defenses, the best defenses know how and when to challenge him, when he drives in particular. And he can be prone to stuff, obviously on drives, a little loose with the dribble and things of that nature. All that stuff. I just realized I could be watching this fucking game on ESPN. God damn it. But let's see a team do that. And it's not like he hasn't had good games against Boston. He has had good games against Boston. But let's get there first. Thanks, Kareem. Nikki Double G, what's going on, man? JB jawing at his dad, still wondering about that. I mean, of all the guys that I want to see JB jawing with, it's his dad. Because I want to see Rick challenge him. That if I saw him jawing with anybody else, I'd be like, If I see him jawing with Rick, I'm like, okay, good. Please. More of that. Thanks, Nikki. Kevin Danishevsky, prayers to Dante. Still so much love for him. I'm literally watching him on my replay on my screen right now. I am pulling so hard for Minnesota right now to pull out this game. I mean, you could tell that they are just giving it everything they have for their fallen heroes or comrades, I should say. Make that, Mike. Yeah. Thanks, Kev. Brad Schenker. It's not over for this team. We're not going down easy. They've got their faults, but I've waited my whole life to see competitive Knicks basketball. To give up emotionally on them now would be stupid and cowardly. Lock the F in. Yeah, 100%. 100%. No, yeah, look, I've been pretty open and honest about the fact that, to my detriment, I continue to be fully emotionally invested. It's just how I have to be. And it makes the highs higher. Like tonight was awesome because I'm all in. And to your point about waiting your whole life to see competitive Knicks basketball, we really shouldn't take this for granted. I know I say that a lot and I don't always follow through on that, but we shouldn't take it for granted. Team's really good. They have heart. Every Hawk that went to the podium said the same, some version of the same thing. They played harder. They wanted it more, and that is a do or die game 4 on the road. It is an end. It is fucking Armageddon organizationally if they lose this game. And they showed up in a big way. That means something. Thanks, Brad. Victor Hugo Ponce Jr. Great name. Please talk about McCall's FU to Daniels. Finally. I did see, I retweeted that. That was good. McCall said apparently FU 3 consecutive times to Dyson Daniels. So good job by him. All right, we got the last one. Javier Montalvo. Just want to say thanks to all Knicks fans. Love NYC. Oh, that's very sweet. Thanks to you, Javier. And thanks to everybody who watched the show tonight, who contributed super chats. The generosity never ceases to amaze me. And I say that on behalf of everybody here at Knicks Film School, the whole Knicks Film School family. It's cool to have a family like this. And everybody watching is a member of the extended family. You know, I think part of the reason the last few days have been pretty rough for me, I don't want this to end. I really don't want this to end. I need to see them. I need to see them play Boston again. It would be such a fucking crime if they didn't get a chance to double down on what they did last year and beat that team again. Or Philly. You never know. It could be Philly. I mean, that would be satisfying in its own right. But like, just, you know, with Boston kind of now being like the favorite, go in there and do it to them again. You know, and they deserve that chance. So, you know, it was great to see them take care of business. Let's hope they take care of business on Tuesday. I will be on tomorrow at some point, I'm not sure when, with Jeremy Cohen, doing another playoff hangover. I'll be excited to get his thoughts on this game and the series, because I haven't talked to Jeremy since before game one. Since after game one. But so I haven't talked to him since, you know, over the last 3 games. So stay tuned for when we're going to do that. I imagine it will be in the latter portion of the day. And that's it. Thanks to Mark for doing a bang-up job on the 1s and 2s. Thanks to Andrew for popping in. Thanks to Jeff. Shout out to everybody who watched along with us. And last but not least, if you dig what we do here at Knicks Film School, please do help us out. Support us in any way that you can. If you can't send in a super chat, that's fine. Follow the channel wherever you get your pods. Subscribe on YouTube. Please like this video if you're still watching the video on YouTube right now, or even if you've been watching on Twitter. If you want to show your support by taking an extra minute to go log into YouTube and just go hit a like on the video, that helps us out. And then obviously, if you could be so kind as to give us a rating, review, all those sorts of things. You know, all the bonus content, Substack, Patreon. I am going to sit down right now and write a newsletter that I'm very excited to write. Although I got to tell you, I don't think I'm going to start writing that until after this game. I'm going to watch the rest of this Minnesota game because I am pulling for the Wolves to pull this one out. This would be a really cool win for their team in light of the events that have happened tonight. Anyway, that's it. We will talk to everybody when we talk to you, and have a great Sunday. Peace out.